Hey there, you want to have an auto blog, a blog that will auto populate itself from how you set it up from a free domain to a free hosting to a free auto blogging completely. Then this video is for you because that's exactly what I'll be showing you. If you're excited about this, let's get this done in this video together. So you're welcome back. I am Dabs. I'm so excited to have you on my channel. If you're here for the very first time, I upload videos every now and then around WordPress, teaching you the things that work, the things that do not work, how to get some things done for free. I'm just giving you WordPress hack, the things that will help you grow. If you're into WordPress, you want to learn more about WordPress, you need to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Just go down there right now, hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, because that's the only way you get notified when I keep posting awesome videos just like the one you're watching right now. And what you see on my screen here says how I went from debt to millions with WordPress. So if you know you want to make money with WordPress, you want to see some of the businesses I did that took me literally from being in debt to millions within the space of 2 years, then you should come here to dabstutorial.com. You will definitely see a link to this site in the description below. You can come there and check out these businesses. So without wasting so much time, let's get started into an auto blog. So let's come back to what we really want to do today, which is designing an auto blog. So if you're looking into creating a blog that you don't want to spend time on, you don't want to do anything, you just want it to blog and deceive people as though you're blogging, you're wasting your time. And sincerely, I will tell you this from experience. In my early days as a web designer, as a web developer, I had clients who had done this for and it never did work out well. Google will punish you. But this video is for people who want to do this the right way, and I will explain to you how is the right way for you to use an auto blog. And I'll give you two instances. You can imagine someone there who just wants to get content ideas. So you go to your favorite blog, you pick up their RSS and you auto populate them on your blog, not to publish them but to save them as draft for you to check those content and have an idea of what to write. And then you pick up their blog article, you use them as a template for you to form your own blog article. That's a right way to use autoblog. You can also imagine another scenario of someone who has maybe a group of company and he wants to publish one article on several platforms that they have. So you don't want to publish an article on this platform and you want to go on several other platforms to populate the same content there. So you can easily pick up the RSS feed of one and auto blog it on other channels. So it means you're publishing your content into several other platforms that you have. So that's the right way. These are the benefits. These are the things that comes with auto blogging. Like I said, and I will say it again, I'm sorry I'm taking so much of your time on this, but it's just very necessary I say this, that the only time you should do this if you're looking into blogging is using that article as a template for your blog content. So it means when you're populating those articles, you don't publish them, you save them as draft, then you edit them, you change the title into yours, you change the words into yours, you change the pictures, and then you now publish manually. That's the right way to use this. So having said this, let's get started into this tutorial. I want to make this tutorial as beginner friendly as possible. So if you are not in that space, you might need to check the timestamp. I will leave it in the description below for you to find where you want to start in the video. I would start by showing you how to get a domain for free and hosting for free, and that should not take so much time though, but that's where I want to start for people who don't have an idea of how to even get a domain or a hosting. I'll show you how to get all of those things for free in this video. So let's get started with the first stage. The first stage is for us to pick up a domain and pick up a hosting account. So we'll be using infinityfree.net for the sake of this. We'll be getting a free hosting and also a free subdomain from Infinity Free. And so if you come to infinityfree.net, you would see right on their screen here, it says free unlimited web hosting, and you can sign up to get started. So once you once you hit the sign up button, you'll be brought to this page where you can populate your email address, your password, and then you validate the captcha and you create an account. And that's what we are about to do, so you can get that done too as well. All right, so now we have to verify our email address. So I have my email here and I have this email already from Infinity Free. So I'm going to click this and I'm going to verify my email address. Fantastic. We have created an account in Infinity Free. Super simple. Yeah. So the next thing for us to do is for us to create an account inside our account. So we hit the create account button here. Here is where you choose if you want to use a domain or you want to use a custom domain. So wherever you are, if you know you have a custom domain you want to use for this, so this is the next option you should choose, and then you can put your domain and then you can change the name servers to Infinity Free and it works fine. But if you don't have any custom domain you've bought with your money, so you can use the subdomain from Infinity Free, that will be good enough. So let's call this subdomain auto blogging, right? So let's see if that's available. Let's search for this domain. Yeah, that's available. Autoblogging.42web.io is available, and that's good for us to test. And then we come down, all the information here every information here have been generated for us automatically. So what we have to do is to hit I am not a robot and then create an account. Just before we go into our control panel, let's view our client area. You can say this is our username, this is the password. If you hit this button here, it will reveal your password to you. Your account is active, which is good. And this is the label for our account. This is our main domain here. These are IP address is unknown, and hosting volume 2 is unknown. And this is the time it was created. These are MySQL data, and these are FTP client data. So if you want to know more about all these things, you can let me know in the comment section below. You want to know more about FTPs, you want to know more about, but sincerely, those things are not much of a big deal. So in case you're new to stuff like this and you want to know more, you can let me know in the comment section below. So I also advise you to follow this tutorial step by step. Do not skip, especially if you are very meticulous about keeping your time, because if you try to skip in between, you might miss important steps, which will mean that you keep watching over and over again before you are able to replicate the same process. So having done this, let's go straight to our control panel. We click this button here, and there's a redirection here for us to go to our control panel, but first we have to accept this. You have to hit I approve, and then our control panel will now load. So this is what the Infinity Free hosting account looks like. This is good enough. So the next thing for us to do is to install WordPress, and then we come straight down to Softaculous app installer. So we hit this and we install WordPress. Okay, so this is the option where the current version for WordPress is 5.8 at the time I'm recording this video, so we're going to stay with that. So this is where we get to choose the protocol we want this site to run on, whether we want it on HTTP or HTTPS, or we want the normal version or the WW version. It's just appropriate for us to have SSL on our site, but unfortunately right now we don't have SSL activated for this subdomain right now. So what we will need to do is to come back to Infinity Free, and you see up here you see free SSL certificate. So if you click this, you would see that we don't have any free SSL certificate. So we click the add SSL add SSL to domain, right? So let's add this domain. Yes, let's get SSL. Okay, your domain has been added. You can now create an order. So now let's request for SSL certificate. All right, so we can see that we have our private keys ready, but we don't have a certificate ready. What we have to do now is for us to update a CNAME record inside Infinity Free. This is very simple. I'm not sure you have any problem with that. So what we have to do is to come down to CNAME records here in our Infinity Free. We open this up and then we add this record. So we come down here. So this is the name. We're going to copy this gently and then we paste that here as source. We come back here. Definitely the domain is sacrosanct, so we pick this as well. So we copy the destination and we paste it here. So before we hit the add button, we can see that this is not set correctly, so let's hit the backspace for it to start from the beginning. And let's see this as well. Okay, good. And then let's hit the add button. Yeah, our CNAME here has been added. So let's come back here. Then this is not ready yet. Let's refresh. It will take time for it to get ready. So you can see here that please note that DNS changing can take up to 24 hours to take effect. But this is still pending. So let's leave this. Let's go continue installing our WordPress. By the time we are done with WordPress, and I know by then this should be ready for us to use. So let's come back here now to installing WordPress. So let's leave the protocol at HTTP since we don't have SSL already yet. Then let's give our blog site a name. I'll call it auto blogging. How to set up an auto blog with WPeMatico. Yeah. Oh, my setup is not spelled correctly. Awesome. So admin username, this is where you set the username for your WordPress and also password. So I'll be doing that very fast. Okay, so this is where you can change your admin email to whatever email you're comfortable with. If that is okay, you can leave it. Our language is English language. That's good enough. Do you want to install any plugin? No, we don't. Do you want to install any theme? No, we don't. So we're going to install WordPress. This might take a minute or two for it to install, depending, but in no time it should be ready. All right, so WordPress has been installed and that's good enough. So this is our WordPress URL. So let's click this. Voila, we have WordPress live. We have a blog here ready for us to use. So let's come back here and let's pick up this admin URL. So this will take us to the back end of our WordPress website, and that's where we want to be. Fantastic. So we are here. So first things first, now we have our WordPress setup. The next thing we are going to do right now is that we are going to install a theme for our WordPress for us to give it that look of a blog. And well, if you want to stick with the default look of WordPress 5.8, that's good. You can leave it, but for the sake of this, I don't like that. I'll come to appearance and themes, and then I'll search for a free theme called human. All right, so here is the theme here. So let's install this theme. All right, so let's activate this theme. Theme has been installed and that's good. Human team recommend enable page builder. You can do that in case you want to learn how to build your team with their page builder. That's not the scope of this tutorial. If it's something you want to see as a tutorial from me, you can let me know in the comment section below. I would look into it. I might just have to do another video to show you how to do this, but for the sake of this tutorial, no. So let's come back to our site. Let's see what it looks like. All right, so pretty much very close. We are there. We're getting there. So this theme is highly customizable. You can change in case you don't want to have two sidebars, just want to keep it one sidebar, you can do that. I will not be spending so much time on that. So also for this theme, you can remove all the credit here. You can take that down. So those will be so if you come down to the theme, if you come down to customize, you should be able to customize the look, the feel. Maybe I should spend a minute or two on that to give it some basic customization. So the first thing I want us to change is the footer. Let's come down to footer. Let's come down to the layout. So you can see here, this is the footer title, that it comes with the site title, and then so you can see a button here under footer that says footer credit text. So we disable this. This is good. And this is where we can set our social links. So in case you don't have any, like I don't have right now, I can disable that as well. All right. So this is good for footer for me. And you can, instead of using 3 widgets here, you can use 1 widget. You can use 4 widgets, or 4 columns rather. You can change all these things, play with the customization to give it the feel that you want. And other things that you might need to put up in case you want to put a logo here, you can. I don't want to spend time doing that. That's not the reason why we are here. So that's it. I think I'm done. Let's go back, and now let's go into auto blogging. So really, let's come to plugin. Let's come to add new, and the plugin we'll be using is WPeMatico. So let's search for that plugin. There's several plugins that can do auto blogging, but this one is one that I've used that has worked for me. So I really can't say, but at least decently it's been able to perform everything I need it to do. Even though it has a paid it has some paid add-ons, but I've not really used that before. You can, in case you really want to get some or more features from this, but you were going to get to see how we're going to get to use this eventually. Okay, so let's activate this plugin. All right, WPeMatico activated. We can easily come here and hit the settings, or come here and hit settings as well. Either way, we are coming to the same place, and that's the first thing for us to do. Let's set up some things. So if you come here, you would see one thing I like about WPeMatico is that it's very straightforward. It's very easy for you to understand. The settings here will be dependent on what you want to really do out of the plugin, or what you want to really do with your auto blog really. So now, first thing is store image locally. So imagine if the site is your if the site you're trying to pull RSS feed for is your site, and you don't mind interlinking between both, the nice thing for you to do is to untick this and leave it the way it is. But in case you're pulling RSS feed from somewhere else, and you want the images stored on your site, not just backlinking to that URL, the next thing for you to do is to make sure that you hit this attach image to post. Yes, remove link from source image. You may want to do that. You want to remove this attribute as well. So these are the things for you to customize this, for you to own those images locally. And the other thing you can do here is to set first image in the content as featured image. So you want to do your research to know where you're pulling that content from. If the image they use as featured image are customized images, you may want to ignore that and pick the first image in that article as a featured image. And again, you have to be very sure that the site you want to pull the RSS feed would always put images in their content for you to use this option. So if you are not sure, you can leave it so, but that's the feature you get from here. So in case you're pulling your content from entrepreneur.com, for example, if entrepreneur.com always put the text entrepreneur.com on their featured images, you don't want to use that, because if it's scrolling into your site, people will see entrepreneur.com, which is not what they should be seeing, but the name of your blog. So rather, you will crawl the first image in that content as your featured image. Really, so that's what that is for. You can use featured image URL in case you want to, and you can remove featured image from content entirely. So you don't want any featured image from the content. You want to take your time to put your own featured image. In case you want to do that, that's another option for you. So you'll be ticking this. So you can scroll down here, and then in case there is a video in the article, do you want to store them locally? If you want to, then you can hit this, but I don't advise that you do that. In case, well, if you have the server resources, you can think of that. And the next thing is audio as well. Do you want to store it locally in case there's an audio file in the article? And enable future image, enable so you can think about that. And there are other features you can also enable, which I would advise you do. You can enable rewrite feature, enable words to category. So when we are trying to create a campaign, you see what this means. Other features here are the pro add-ons, are the things that in case you want to do anything around this, you may be thinking of getting an add-on from etrail.com. But again, well, depending on what you want to do though, so you can check if those are the things that you want. And this is good. You can always click here to see that your server meets the custom requirement for this. That's not much of a problem. Most times it always work, but you should check. Allow option on campaign to skip the content filters. But this is extremely dangerous. So if the plugin says it's extremely dangerous, so you leave it. So this is the timer running campaign. So you want to set a campaign time. When a campaign is interrupted, the next time the campaign will trigger again. 300, this is measured in seconds, so you can reduce it or increase it depending on what works for you. Again, so you can add delay in seconds for every post. So in case you're trying to crawl maybe 10 posts per time, but you don't want them to land on your blog the same time, you want to put delay, you can just put maybe 5 seconds delay, 10 seconds delay, or depending on what you want. You don't want your content to populate at the same time. There's no way you can even trick Google not to know, or search engine not to know that you're auto blogging. But maybe you don't want readers to know. Maybe your blog has time to show the time that the article was published. Whatever works for you. So that's an option you have to look into. Duplicate, deactivate duplicate control. You want to leave this on because you don't want to keep duplicate content on your blog. So imagine if you are crawling a RSS feed from 2 blogs that does something similar. Let's say you have a category on your blog for entertainment, and you are crawling content from 2 other websites that post content on entertainment. What if both of them make a post on the same thing? So you want to put this duplicate control such that when one is crawled, when one content is crawled, once the duplicate content is coming, this plugin filters that stuff so that it doesn't come on your blog. So yeah, this setting is for cron jobs. Cron jobs really are just like triggers to all those commands that we run in our PHP. For this site to function accurately, our cron jobs must be set. If cron jobs are not, if our WP cron or cron jobs are not set accurately and properly, or if our server doesn't allow for cron jobs, then we might not have the crawling done from time to time like we want. We might manually have to keep crawling those content, which may not be good enough for some of the things you might need it to do. But I think that's not a topic for now, right now. So in case you realize that your campaigns are not triggering, then there's something wrong with your cron jobs. There's something wrong with your cron jobs. You want to contact your hosting for you to ask them what's wrong and for them to fix it for you. In case your cron jobs, in case your hosting account doesn't support cron jobs like some don't do, you may want to consider the option of setting up an external cron job. And I have a website that does that. That is cron-jobs.org. So that's it. I have an account with cron-job. I have an account here, but if you don't, you can just sign up. If I hit the members, it will take me inside my account, and this is it. So you can see I have some commands that I have set here that is running. In case you want to learn more about cron-jobs, you can also let me know in the comment section below. I should be able to look into that. Because it's free, it's most likely that it might not support cron jobs basically, so you might want to check that out. If it doesn't, you can disable the WP cron here if it's not working, and then you can copy this command or copy this URL here and post it into cron jobs here. By coming up here, you would see that you can come to your cron jobs, and then you can create a cron job and you put the URL there. You give it a name so that you can remember, maybe WPeMatico or the name of your blog or whatever you want to do, so that you set your cron jobs working effectively. But this happens if your hosting doesn't give you the option for cron jobs, if you realize that your campaigns do not trigger. So this as well, you can read through this to see if this is what you want. You want to disable the campaign info, and you don't want you really don't want people to know that you are crawling or whatever, because you don't have time to edit, which all these things shouldn't even bother you if you want to do it the right way, in all honesty. But again, I can understand the fact again that you are posting from one platform to another, which may be yours, and you don't want people to know that you are auto crawling it from one platform to another. You want to give them the impression you are posting directly, so you can look into all these things and then tick which one will be appropriate for you. Before we are done with the settings here, there's still some little few more we should do here. You want to make sure that this is ticked. If this is not ticked, what this means is that below every crowd content, WPeMatico will put credit to let them know that the content was crawled with WPeMatico, which you don't want on your content. You want to see, maybe you want to enable XMLS, last log, del hash, but I leave those things the way they are. Disable auto categorize option. If you don't want your article to post directly into categories, you can disable it. I just leave all these things bare, but these are the things that you can still look, and if you hit this thing here, it will tell you the meaning of all these things. But I really don't waste my time on all of these things, like I said. So this is where you can set an email sender in case there's anything that goes wrong and EPeMatico wants to send you a log of all the fetching. You want to set this, and once you're done, you can hit the save setting button. So our settings are saved. So the next thing we want to do now is to add a campaign. So now, what's the title of our campaign? You can name your campaign anything. I can just call it auto blog. Don't mind me. You can put a description for you to remember your campaign vividly. So the next thing for you is to add a feed. You can add as much feed as possible in one campaign, but for the sake of this tutorial, I will do one. So our feed really is for us to specify where we want to get our content from. So for example, let's say we want to generate our content from entrepreneur.com. So this is entrepreneur.com. Let's say we want to crawl entrepreneur.com. Well, we want every content that they post to auto crawl to our own post. So what we're going to do really is we want to assume right now that entrepreneur.com is a WordPress blog. So the default WordPress feed, because WordPress automatically had a feed to every WordPress blog, is /feed. So let's come back here and let's try to see if this works. So let's place the URL here and let's do /feed. So ideally, if it's a WordPress blog, this should work. So you can test it clicking this to see if it would work. So since it's green, it shows that this feed is working. If it is red, it means that it's not working. But really, if you still want to come down, for you to get the actual feed of any website you want to go, you can come to the site, put your mouse on anywhere around the site and right click, and then come to page source. Then you can do a search function. In my Windows, I will do Ctrl F, and then I can search for RSS. So you can see that if you come down, you will be able to find the RSS feed for the blog if it has been changed. So you can see here says entrepreneur.com/latest/RSS. I really don't know if this works, but you can search around and see to find the actual feed that the site you want to use is using if /feed doesn't work. But since this does work here, I think this is good enough. So for one campaign, you can have content from 2, 3, 4, 5 different blogs, or even up to 20 in that case. But I don't want to do that here. This is just for test purpose. So I will leave it at 1. And then this is maximum item to create on each fetch. So if this campaign wants to trigger and fetch, it can only pull 5 blog article per time. You can increase this to as much number as you want to, but I would advise that you leave it with 5. So you may want to allow it order the feed by date before it processes it, and you can also maybe want to use the date or the feed was created. So it means that if this article is publishing, will it publish based on the day or the time that the content was initially published on the former article, or you want it to publish at the time that it is being generated into your blog. So that's left for you to decide what you want, and ping back or track backs on the article you want to bring that as well. That's another option you can check. In case you don't know what ping back or track backs are, you can Google them. They are just more like comments made from other, but you can just generally just check that out. You can copy perma links from source in case you want to. You can avoid search redirect for perma source, which maybe you don't want. You can copy perma links from source. You can post title link to source. In case you don't want anything to do with the source, you may want to strip this off. You may want to remove link from the content. You don't want the content linking to the old link set into the article. You might want to strip that up. You might want to strip up HTML tags also in the blog. You might also want to just fill their except with your own description as well. But read all these things and understand what they have before you tick what work for you. And then the comment option here is closed. You may want to leave it open so that at least people can have a comment on the blog. And the author will be the name. In case you have several users on the blog, you can choose who you want the author of the blog to be. So this is where we get to schedule our cron jobs, but really you can just come here and just set it by days. You can just come here and just say I want this thing to set up every 10 minutes in a day, or you just want to do it per hour. You can come here, or you can just activate scheduling here and just come here and just choose 15 minutes in a day, and that will just 15 minutes. Or you can just, or every 5 minutes, you can just say I want this thing to trigger every 5 minutes, or you want it to trigger every 15 minutes. The choice really is yours. So in case you want to have specific settings for specific campaigns, this is where you get to choose the option. In case you don't want to use the general option we set initially for images, audios, and videos, you can come here and just, for example, for video now for this campaign, before when we did the settings before, we didn't store it locally. In case you want to store this locally, you can tick that. Do you still want to attach the video to the post? Yes. Do you want to remove link from the source? You can click yes, and whatever works for you really, but this is what this option is for. So another option I like is the word to category option. So you want to set some rules, and this is the rewrite option that we are almost getting into. So just imagine you're crawling a content and you want to put them into category by words. You can just say, for example, let me explain what this means. If you have category on your blog, you can come here, but unfortunately I don't have. But let's say I have categories I have several categories, blogging. I have category into politics, entertainment. Let's just say I just say that if there's any word like WordPress, just put them into blogging category, because WordPress means is more like talking about blogging. So put them into blogging category. So if there's anything like search engines, put them into SEO category, just something like that, and then you can add more and more and more. You can set up to as much possible. You can set what category as much as possible as you want to, and the same thing for rewrite. For example, if you notice that the site you're trying to crawl, for example, use some particular words that is their brand, you may want to change it. For example, now for entrepreneur.com, let's say for any time there is a word like entrepreneur.com, redirect it to our site, which is autoblogging.42web.io, and then relink it to our site on HTTPS. Anytime the site you're trying to crawl is trying to link to their own site, it will auto link to our own site. So you can add as much rewrite as possible as you want to. You just for you to click the add more button, and then you can change the words that you want to rewrite in that sense. So it's that simple, and you can as well delete anyone you don't want, and that's it. So that's it for the campaign settings. We can still come up here. There's still one or two more campaign we should look into. So if you come here, like I told you earlier, this is what you want your article to be after it has been crawled. Do you want it published, or you can just keep the status as draft? This is what I advise that you do in case you're pulling this RSS feed from other people's blog. So anytime it crawls those articles, they come into your blog as a draft. Then you can go there, edit them, put them into your own words, put your own pictures, put your own words, remove some link you don't like, and then you publish manually. That's what it should be ideally, but depending, you can leave it as published. Maybe we should leave it as published for the sake of this tutorial, for us to see exactly what it is. So our default article will be standard, which is good enough, and then that's it. That's everything we need to set from here. So once we are done with our article, what we do now is to publish this article, or publish this campaign rather. So the campaign now will be waiting for our cron-jobs for it to trigger. That should be another 5 minutes, or is it 10 minutes we said earlier in our settings, if our cron-jobs is working well. But we can manually trigger this for us to see how it works. All right, so now coming to our blog, now we can see that our campaign, you can see now we now have new article on our blog, and then you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 articles already published, because we set it to publish 5 articles per time. So this is exactly how it is for you to crawl all this content, and you can click the content to see that it's crawled well. Also, you can see that the article is linking back to entrepreneur.com, which shouldn't be. So you can see here that we activated post link to site source. So if we deactivate this, any content that posts on our site right now will be read on our site and not redirect to entrepreneur.com anymore. And then we can update this in case you want to have a news blog that auto post content redirect to other people's blog. You know, the first option will be the best for us, but if you want them to publish on your own blog, this is the right way to go. And I think the last thing we need to do here is for SSL certificate before I end this video. And then if I refresh this page now, let's see if our SSL is ready. So you can see our certificate is ready. So what we have to do right now is to copy our certificate here. So let's come to SSL and TLS rather, not TSL, and then let us configure this, and then this is a place for our private key, so let's post this, and then let's copy our certificate. So let's copy this and let's post this to our certificate, and then let's upload certificate. Oh, I made an error there. I should have uploaded this initially. All right, and then let's post our certificate again, and then let's upload this. Our SSL certificate installed, so we can then come back to our site, and then let's view this page. Right now I'm not expecting it to force SSL, so I need to do HTTPS, and then let's check our site. So after my second refresh, you can see that my site now loads on SSL with a secured padlock. Thank you very much for watching this video. If this video has been useful, give me a thumbs up. If you have any issue anywhere, you can just let me know in the comment section below. I should be able to assist you. Subscribe to see more awesome videos like this from me. And finally, that's it for this video. I'll see you in my next video, and until then, you have a nice time.